This week, President Joe Biden drew a hard line in the sand with Republican governors who continue to ban mask mandates in their states. By the way, with Brian Kemp in Georgia being the latest to do that this week, joining Ron DeSantis in Florida, Asa Hutchinson in Arkansas, and also Greg Abbott in Texas. Although it is worth noting that Texas announced yesterday they're no longer going to enforce the ban on mask mandates, so that's actually a victory, and it's because they realized they were fighting a losing battle. But either way, Biden came out and he said this. Basically, we're going to do whatever we can. He says, this includes using all of his oversight authorities and legal action, if appropriate, against governors who are trying to block and intimidate local school officials and educators. Like I've said before, if you're not going to fight COVID-19, at least get out of the way. And the he's referring to is Attorney General Merrick Garland. So they're saying we may have to get the DOJ involved and start suing you if you continue to ban mask mandates. And as I've said before, these mask mandates, or the bans on mask mandates, are not based on science. They're not based on any kind of public health recommendation. This is pure partisan politics. So any argument that these governors have that they're trying to keep in mind the health, safety, and welfare of their constituents, that goes out the window because this actually runs contrary to what experts say needs to be done. And Biden's having none of it. And I applaud him for standing up for this because this is a very big issue. We are starting to see more and more children across the country hospitalized with COVID-19. The Delta variant is far more prevalent in children, not to mention the fact that it's, more dangerous in children than the original COVID. I actually was on an anti-vaxxer thread on Twitter the other day reading through, and too many of those anti-vaxxers actually said that COVID doesn't affect children. There's no cases of it, they said. We had 2 8th graders in the last week die in the state of Mississippi from COVID-19, so stop with that anti-vax nonsense. The Education Department could use decades-old civil rights laws, including the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, to bolster its legal attacks should the need arise. So those would be the legal avenues, according to a legal expert for the New York Times, that this administration could choose to use if they wanted to go that route. But I think right now what Biden is doing is he's not wanting to have to sue. Okay, he doesn't want to have to go through any of this. He's hoping these governors step up and do the right thing. And Biden, let me tell you, they're not. Because even though Texas right now says they're not going to enforce the ban on mask mandates, there will come a day when they do. The reason they really can't justify it right now is because, one, they had to request 5 more FEMA morgue trailers because they're anticipating a lot more dead people. And their hospitals are at capacity. They're expecting a massive surge right now. So I think they finally understand, okay, the optics are really bad for us. We can't do this. Versus a guy like DeSantis, who every time you say, if you're not going to lead, then step out of our way, he gets pissed off, comes out and doubles and triples down on his ban on mask mandates. DeSantis is never going to do the right thing. It doesn't matter how many dead Floridians we have. He's going to continue to let people go to an early grave, whether it's a child or an 80-year-old individual. He doesn't care as long as he gets to make his political point. So Biden, stop the threats, start the action. You want to hold them accountable? You want to start protecting children? That's all on you now, bud, because they're not going to do the right thing. So I say, let the lawsuits start flying. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe to our channel for fresh content 7 days a week.